And welcome aboard, Dee, Jeff, the whole BoomBand team. We're just excited to have you.
I was telling the guys yesterday, we did a little pregame for this, is that I hope you realize I'm just one of you guys. I've been coming to these meetings all year where I haven't had conflicts, been getting busier. And I really believe in the TA and talent leadership area. I just did a post and said I've dedicated my whole life to talent leadership. And so I want to make sure that I come in with gratitude and with sort of open arms. And part of why I've been sharing all the way along with this team is because I don't have it all right. I have directionally where we're going, and I have a vision for the company. And I'm not trying to make this a big ad. At the same time, I'm trying to expose the team to some of my thinking. And this is 30 years of cooking the shit inside my brain, which is now it comes out and you get a chance to experience it. And I'm really interested in feedback. I hope I have a little time at the end to talk about what quiet hiring is or what quiet looking might be. Dee says quiet could be a creepy word. I think that's interesting. I'm going to explore that. And then just looking at the tools sort of being at end of life. I was talking about it a year ago and maybe getting some opinions. Do you agree that these tools are sort of end of life? So, but I want to just give you a quick catch up. Some of you probably caught that we raised $4 million from 4 VCs in New England. This is a very difficult environment to raise money. And we had a story in the Globe and the Boston Business Journal. Those are out there. I could share those if you're interested in following. We have 22 or 23 customers that have already signed up. We have another almost 40 that are in the loop. So if you're in New England and you want to be a development partner with us, there isn't any cost associated with it, but you can go much deeper than like a call like this if you're interested. I would like to just share a little bit about BoomBand. I'd like to overview my vision of what the future of a resume might look like and talk a little bit about our arena and some of the tools that you might be able to work with, and then ultimately take it from what we call the scout view, where you can see where we're headed and the kinds of things you could do in our system, and then open it up for questions. One of the things I wanted to invite you, if you can go to boomband.com and view this on your own, but this is what we call a brand rip, which is it's a minute and 20 seconds. It doesn't have a lot of use commercially, but it's a way to just describe what we do. And I showed it to the guys yesterday and they said, yeah, definitely play it. And so I'd like to play it for you. I hope we'll get a good stream so you get the audio right. If not, you can play it on your own. But I wanted to just do a quick scroll down, Dee, and just show people that a lot of what I'm talking about today on our website, you can go in on your own and go explore that. This is everything about the dossier. If you scroll down further, there's everything about our corporate focus on job signals. And then if you go down below that, you'll see everything about our arena. And then you'll see our customers, and then ultimately a little bit about the size of the data that we have in our database. And then there's a bunch of our blogs. But at the top is this brand video, and it's short. So if it's okay, I'll play it, and then it'll give you a little sense of who we think.
Yep. Human potential. Discovered at the intersection of curiosity, authenticity, and opportunity. The freedom to explore and express our true selves. We are vision and voice, strength and creativity, collaboration and ambition. The world is opening up. Innovation accelerates possibility. Knowledge and agency fuel progress. Connection defines opportunity. At the center, our humanity, our originality, our curiosity, our incredible ability to adapt, to lead with purpose into an AI-driven future. We are more than our past experiences, more than any one achievement. The whole of us is always greater. So show up fully, connect, collaborate, and grow. Turn passions into pursuits, and pursuits into impact. More than what we've done, share who we are, what inspires us, what drives us, what's next, moving our life's work forward. We are BoomBand. Let's band together.
So I could see Sarah. Sarah likes it. Awesome. And so we're showing this in different places. We're in all the T stops in Boston. You may have seen our billboards. And if you're outside of Boston, we're coming, but we're starting in the 6 New England states. So I'll be wanting to talk with all of you as we roll out New York and New Jersey. And then ultimately we'll go to the probably 10 biggest cities, and then we'll launch the whole country. And so, Dee, if you're okay about it, why don't we go over to the live website? And, David was giving me shit yesterday because of all the chatter from a year ago. And one of the things that I had to figure out how to do is to fulfill that promise. And so thousands of hours of software later, I get the dream of building what we're calling a fulsome dossier, a whole person dossier. And I think this is, if there's one thing that's resonated with everyone that's getting to know me again after being away from the industry for 20 years, it's been this idea that your whole self is not being told on a resume. It's a pile of keywords and performance statements. And this was my dream, to be able to highlight you as a person. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to show you the navigation. And so if I go to an overview, and this is live, so you'll be able to build one of these, and I would invite each of you to build one. But this is what a dossier looks like. And so you can see the hub in the middle, which you already saw. I'll show you each of these areas. But north, it's compass, which I think is amazing. And north is your commercial work, and south is your passions and interests. But the main thing for me is, if you're a stay-at-home parent, you're a CEO of a household, and I want you to be able to grab the attributes, the skills and abilities associated with that work, as opposed to being on a career break. And if you're a marathon runner and you've done 50 marathons like our COO, the amount of grit and determination and the ability to achieve a goal and negotiation with his wife to be able to go do all of these things, all of those skills are captured now in that south area. West is your about. And the main thing I felt like about is really missing is, what are the most important moments in your life? We call those boom moments. And then also, what are your lessons learned? What are things that really were seminal for you in your life where you learned a lot? And then on the right is like our secret weapon. It's called the Power Lab. And so the idea here is, all of your skills from all of your areas then roll up into this Power Lab, and everything has attribution back to your stories. So now if we go in, and I'm just going to, you see that little icon on the right, that's how you can navigate. Or the way I want you to do it is, you can see, here's the hub. Stay here for 1 second. So here's an intro and a welcome. On the left, you can just see, if you scroll down slightly, that my boom moment highlights are there. You can see that I've highlighted. I can select 3 life work categories in the middle. You can see that you're not just open to work on BoomBand, you're open to meeting others, you're open to collaboration, you're open to learning, you're open to mentoring, and you're open to work, and everyone should be open to opportunity. And so that's a cool area that's so controversial on LinkedIn that I think we've kind of opened the door in that area. In the third column, because we call our seekers players, which we think raises the bar because you're playing the life game, is that this is the team you play for. So right now, I play for BoomBand. Dee has 2 teams she plays for. She plays for BoomBand, and she also has a paint and sip studio in North Andover. And so she plays for 2 teams, which is great. And then down below, you get a chance to do your experience highlights. You can see I've highlighted Bridgewater and Monster, and those are not chronologically in my experience, but those are the ones that I want to highlight. And then on the right, we call it a skill print. And this is capturing all of your skills. The size of the skills determines how much of that skill you have. And I'll show you that in a minute. You can see how all your skills relate to each other. And you can see your areas where you're the expert. You're highlighting those right in what we call the hub of your dossier. All right. So now north to work. And you're going to see things that like are sort of familiar. This has some resume qualities to it. But what you're seeing is the introduction to BoomBand. You're seeing both description and projects. On the left, you're seeing the skills. You can go down and see what I did at Rover Trophy. You can see what I did at Bridgewater. And you can see there's Ray and I at Burning Man. You can see where I founded Eons. It says right in my story, I got my butt kicked by Mark Zuckerberg. And you can see the skills that I'm highlighting. If I go back up the BoomBand and I go say, okay, let me see the whole story. Now you're opening it up and you can see the description. I have a header image. And then when you scroll down, you can see that I have projects. And so what's cool about these projects is if you go click into one of those, let's go to like the Meta TikTok one. I'm doing Meta and TikTok experimentation to see how we're going to promote BoomBand. And I've been with 16 different ads, spending $25 to $50 a day on each one. And I've been exploring the kind of responses we're getting, the kind of reaction we're getting. And so I've learned some skills doing this that are different than my base skills. So I'm highlighting those skills in a project, and those are becoming part of that overall picture of what I'm like. But the attribution of those skills is right to this story. My problem with a resume is a keyword or a performance statement. But every one of your ideas started out as a story and then went to a paragraph and then went to a sentence and then went to a keyword. And so what I'm saying is reverse that process back and tell all those stories, because that's the way companies are going to get to know you. That's the way the discovery process is going to work, whether you want to meet other people or whatever. Okay, now let's go south. You're getting the idea of this, so I'm going to go faster, but you can see my passions and interests. I like to build stone walls. I'm a big Burning Man guy. I've been building big theme camps at Burning Man. I restore an old cemetery. So if you go into the cemetery area, and you can see that what's cool about this is I'm describing the experience that I have with a team of volunteers restoring this old cemetery. And you can see the skills associated with my passion and how those skills, I'm the same restoring an old cemetery as I am running BoomBand. It's the same leadership. It's the same training. It's the same developing of people. It's the same work hard, play hard. It has all those same features. I'll ask for questions in a second, but if we go back up, now I go to about, and now you're seeing here my, what we call me in a nutshell. Like, what's that overall description of me? What are some images that capture what I'm like? And then what are important things to me? Right. I don't know. I've set a water skiing record, water skiing behind a blimp. How crazy is that? But you wouldn't know that story. There's no time in an interview to tell a story like that. But now here, if a recruiter's looking at me and doing a tie break between people, and it's like, I just want to ask about this story. What did you learn from that? And it was an incredibly humbling, a really cool experience. And so this is something that I have dreamed about, is this idea of boom moments, and also lessons learned. I restored this old tugboat and it cost me way too much money. I never finished it. And so my headline here is just because you can, don't. And I tell the story about something that was like, oh my God, it was so amazing. And then it wasn't, right? And so go back to the hub. Thank you, Dee. Yeah. And then what I want to do is show your skill print on the right, shows all my skills. But now if you go into the Power Lab, now you have my superpower where I've described what I'm like. And I've taken my skills and I've identified things that I feel like I'm expert at. You're looking at what is this? Problem solving. You're looking at problem solving, and you can actually see the places in my dossier where I describe the story of me problem solving. So you can actually anchor the skill to a story. It's just a keyword, and that's it, right? And so you also see that I went to UMass. But my UMass experience, I didn't really go to class, but I ran businesses and got all this learning. So you see that story. You see my assessments, and I took the cake assessment. I'm a tiramisu. You want to learn about me? That you learn about what a tiramisu is, right? But I've taken the principles assessment. I've taken Team Dimensions Profile. I've taken Myers-Briggs. And you can see that that I have these certifications, and I have a national certification for restoring gravestones in a cemetery, which is like what a bizarre thing to have, which could be an interesting conversation point. If you switch over to domains here, you can see now all of my skills are organized by domain. So if you're interested in pursuing a specific area, a lot of recruiters have said, I want to hone in on one thing. And you can hone in on that one thing in this way if you want to as well. But you can see how I get those skills. All right, so let me just pause for a second. What do you think of this?
I love it, but man, it's a lot. Woo!
Powerful.
Yeah.
Just a quick question Mary asked is, does the player add the skills, Jeff, or does the BoomBand infer those skills from the content that the player enters?
So the word infer is not a word that we would typically use. We go with a direct correlation. When you bring in your resume or your LinkedIn profile, we have a really good way that you can parse those. You can bring in 6 paragraphs about you if you want to, and then we parse that. And if we have data that we've captured as part of your discovery snapshot, which I'm going to show in a minute, we'll do a side-by-side comparison, and you can pick what you want. And the whole time while you're doing that, it's pulling skills and suggesting skills. And then you go from a pick list and say, yes, 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 all the way through. So they're self-reported, but then part of the validation is you need to tell the stories of where those things came from. And then we have an idea of doing validation where you could message out. We've written the software. We haven't introduced it yet because things are complicated here, with the idea that you could validate this with other people. So if I was marketing and I went to the head of marketing, Peter Blacklow at Monster, and said, would you endorse me effectively? Would you review me for marketing and branding? He'd come in and say that what was his relationship with me? I worked for him. How would you rate him from just getting started to a go-to person? And there's the ability to say, would you recommend that person? And then can you do voice, or you can do text, or you can do video to describe what Peter's relationship was like with me doing marketing and branding. So that's where it comes from. Any other questions? Yeah.
Bill Mussman?
Yeah, so
Bill,
Jeff, congratulations. I did sign up. I'm trying to rep.
Yes, you're not trying.
Philadelphia.
You're not trying. You are 100% in.
Yeah. Two quick questions. Like, if I'm a player, how long does it take me to create the dossier, and like, what tools should I be using to feed it?
Yeah. So the base creation is really up to you. And we do not have like a progress bar right now, but the idea will be through time to have a progress bar to give you some bite-sized pieces. I have somebody that is giving me feedback right now that time boxed an hour and said, what could he do in an hour? And then he time boxed the second hour. But I think if you remember, most of us don't, but when you started your LinkedIn profile, it gave you progress and you did it through time, and pretty soon you had your whole thing. The thing that's in the preparation, Bill, that was a great question you asked, is that it'd be good to collect some assets, think about what are the important moments in my life. What I found already in the feedback is this is like a moment for reflection, and then you're out like shoveling snow and you're like, oh my God, I forgot to put this in my dossier. and then you're going in and logging back in and adding something new. And so, for example, on my dossier right now, it doesn't say anything about the fact that I run a podcast. I just forgot about it when I was doing it. So at some point, I'll come back in and introduce the idea that I'm running the BoomBand Showcase, which is a job seeker podcast, right? Other questions?
Sarah, go.
Yeah, so before even coming into this call, I did some research to just have a better understanding. And I did read that, BoomBand aims to be a proof of human layer between AI and candidates itself. So how are you planning to use this platform to make sure it's not like bots against bots? So right now, LinkedIn is full of bots and so many jobs, that are being posted that are ghost jobs. So how are you going to differentiate from that?
Right. Okay. So the first thing is when everyone's resume looks the same because everybody's using the job posting as the cheat sheet, or I call it the open book test, and you take your resume and make it look just like the job posting, we're at meltdown on that. I don't think there's any turning back from that. And so I'm starting to talk to recruiters that aren't using the resume anymore. And we're saying, let's go the other way. Let's actually go to a validated full story of what you're like. And so I think there's going to be some magic in this at the beginning where having more information is going to become hugely valuable to get to know somebody, right? And then I think the bot against bot, some of that is in the way we're going to verify job postings. We call them job signals. Some of that is going to be in the way we actually work with our players to kind of validate the information that they have, and then how we get them to meet through the embeddings in the middle of this process. Let's get one more question, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what a discovery snapshot looks like before you've actually your dossier, and then I'm going to show you the arena and see why all of these embeddings for all of your new skills are going to be very important to matching against jobs.
Donna,
Bill Malcolm, why don't you go quickly? Sharon, hold for a minute, and then we'll catch you on the flip side. But Malcolm, why don't you go now? Bill?
Okay, so I had just an $8 million question for you, Jeff. Are we going to see a BoomBand commercial during the Super Bowl in 2027?
You know what's funny is a lot of people have asked me this question, and the reason why I went on the Super Bowl is because I had a system that was working and I needed to press the accelerator. And for me, I spent $3 million on marketing in 1998, and I spent $3 million in 90 seconds in the Super Bowl at the beginning of 1999. So that was a huge risk. A Super Bowl ad costs $8 million for 30 seconds now. My VCs would not be happy with me. They're not even very happy with me that I have billboards around Boston. But my mindset is don't copy Monster, but do build a brand. And my thinking is that probably part of my superpower is how to build a brand. Some of you have been experiencing me all year, just, kind of dishing around, starting to build this brand. And I think that's going to be some magical old school tools and with a lot of growth hack tools. And I think it's going to be a new day. Maybe the Super Bowl's in the future. I saw Rippling, had an ad, and it's a seminal, important. It's the only ad in the entire year that you watch for the content. The rest of the time, the ads are in the way. And so I like it. I was always an advocate of it. We went on the Super Bowl, I think, 4 or 5 times, but we'll see. Back to the question of time. This is worth as much time as you want to put into it. But as soon as I show you the arena and you start saying, okay, I'm going to get matched against the embeddings of what I share, all of a sudden there's the incentive to the more you provide about what you're like, the better picture, pointillist picture of you, the more exciting the matching starts to become to be a good fit for you. Right. All right. So let's go. There's a lot to show, and I really want to talk to you guys. Maybe we need to have a big forum somewhere and kind of brainstorm. So
and there's lots of great questions coming in on the chat too. I just know we can't really get to all of them. So
okay, great. So I can stay. So if people can stay longer, you're welcome, and then it'll be on the tape, so other people can hear. We're at the point in the arena that everyone will hit, and we're watching people go through this process. And so what Dee's going to do, I'm going to come back around on some things, but I want her to show what some discovery snapshots look like when we're putting our initial work together for people across the country. And so what you're seeing here is this is our actual software now. Some of you probably seen a few pictures of it that have been out on LinkedIn. But I'm just going to show you, if you go to the left, I don't know what this search is for. Let's just go look at Grady. And I want to show you what, for us, a discovery snapshot looks like before that we've invited this person to come in and claim their data. And so we're able to get a description. We're able to get their experience. And you can see there are no life work moments. There are no boom moments, but there's a placeholder there to invite you to do those things. And you can see this person doesn't have a lot of descriptions around their jobs, but we obviously had skills for this person. And so the only thing you can do when we have a discovery snapshot is you can go to their Power Lab. And then what we do is we leave these as domains. We don't actually decide what you're expert at or what you're sort of above average at or whatever. That's for you. And so when you come in and claim, then you drag and drop these things so you can see that the other version where we look at expertise is not live for you right now until you come in and claim. Let's go look at another one. This is EK, it's Edward, very similar. Where we don't have a lot of body copy, but we've got an intro, we have good skills. Let's go back. I want to just see if we can get one that maybe is even a little bit more fulsome. All right, this is Jerry. Okay, so now we're getting more detail where we're getting descriptions of jobs, and you're starting to see an interesting mix of skills. So we're able to draw more skills out of this. So we're not interpreting. We're actually aligning the skills based on the information that we found in discovery. And then what we're doing is inviting this person to come in and basically claim their snapshot. And so the goal here is we're not recruiting. This is public information. There's no scoring. And so where we are right now is basically positioning this. But let me just go show you Jerry. The promise we have to Jerry when we're out marketing is you don't have to do anything. You can put yourself right in the arena and look for opportunities. So now what Jerry is, and we're doing it for him, is we're actually looking at jobs that would be exciting jobs for Jerry. And so now you can go in and see the jobs that are closest are the jobs that are the best match. And right now we're partnering with a couple big jobs partners, but Aspen Technology Labs is our primary. And so we're getting updates every hour on job postings. And then we call them job signals in our system because all the embeddings from that signal are matching against all the embeddings of this guy, Jerry. And then the other thing I wanted to do is go show, let's go, I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to, you want to
look at the signal? We can go to the signal itself.
Yeah. Let's go to the signal. So what we're doing here is we do not have a relationship with this company, but what we have is a live job description. We've actually set this job description and we've pulled all the skills out of this job description. So if you see down at the bottom, we've pulled all these skills. All these skills become embeddings that match against our discovery snapshots. This is the crazy thing about our system, right? And then you can see if we go to the top now, you can see other players that work at this company. So you could go and compare their snapshots. So you can start to get a little sense of what's happening out there. But the key thing here is let me be a scout and let's actually put this job in the center of the arena. And I'm going to kind of teach you some things about this. Okay. Circles are people and the little square houses are jobs. And the most important thing here is from a bias perspective, we don't want to show like pictures of these people. And the idea here is that for each of our players, now the player that has the best embeddings for this job with no interpretation is actually coming up as a match in the center. So right there is a best match. What our system is doing is it's saying, this is why this person is the best match. So you can click on that person and you can learn more about them. You can see in the corner, that little pie chart is how good a match this is. And then if I want to now, so that's strengths and weaknesses of this person. And then what I can do now is I can go to this basket and say, okay, I really like this search. These are interesting. I want to mark these 3 people. So I'm marking John and I'm marking Scott and I'm marking this one. I can't read the name.
Ulysses.
Yeah. And then, so you've got 3 marked. So then there's a bunch of actions you can do here. So one of the things that I can do right away is I could save these people into my project area as a scout, and I could reach out to these individuals. But one of the things we're finding people want to do is this thing, which is create a superstar. So what you're doing is taking these 3 people and combining their backgrounds, their embeddings together. So now you see that 3 in the center of the arena. So now we basically have a set of skills. It's called the centroid. It's the things that are spectacular about each of them together. And then now we're doing new matches again. So one of the opportunities, every person in this arena right now, very likely is working. And so you as a scout have the ability to identify a top 25. Why don't we go look right now and say, okay, how many people match in this?
So we have
we've got
350 matches for this superstar. Do you want to go through how you can adjust the filtering?
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, let's do one thing first, Dee. Let's get on the bottom left and let's increase the group and see how many more there are. So by increasing this to now, so this is searching 5.5 million records in real time right now in New England. And so how many is the total? It's too small.
578. 578 matches right now. Yep.
So with that superstar, with those 3 people combined, we have 578 people that match. And so I haven't done this search before. So let's just go look at now. You can see that now. Go pick one.
Oh, like go view a.
Yeah, I just want to go. There's no setup here, right? So this is this person's skills and information, right? So this is what you can do. Now, there's no contact information here. There's no way to get in touch with this person. We know where they live, but we have that as a little region, like a metro area. And then you have the ability now to use our system and you can reach out to John, and we have an email sequence campaign where we'll reach out to this person 4 times. Now, let's go up to the top right, and our system is going to do an optimal search based on what it knows about what's in the data. So you can see that it's highlighting location, which was something that was in your job signal, and it's got skills here, and it's not weighting current job or past jobs. But if you say, I want to weight current job, so I don't want stuff from their past experience, now you drive that forward, and the more, now we're going back into the data and finding new people that are just focused on a match based on their current job. Also, a lot of people doing skills hiring. So now you're driving the skills, and it's doing the same thing again, and it's matching against the skills for the job. People are excited about this. And then the other thing you can do is you could say on location, okay, so these are all your tools. So you could go say, this is a hybrid job, not a remote job. And you can click on hybrid, or you could click on on-site, and it will change, maybe make the group smaller. And then you can go say, okay, that's a unicorn skill. What if I back that skill off? Or what if I add a skill because I feel like there's 600 people here. I want to narrow this group. And you do all those things, make those selections, and then you apply the filters, and it's immediately going back into the data and doing more searching. Okay, so then here is, I want to show you the map because a lot of people are saying, I don't know if my candidates are real. And so because we have data, we know where they live. The pin is where the job is. And you can see all the candidates are in this mix, all living right around Massachusetts. And then if you wanted to go in, you could refine this, or if this is keep going in, it's amazing. So you can keep going in and say, okay, I really want someone that's less than a half an hour drive away from our office because I wanted to have time to work. And you could go in and say, okay, that person is there. Zoom back out. And so the cool thing about this is now you can look at stack rank. I hope this works. We're working on this today. Okay, so now what's crazy is if you don't like the sphere and you want to say the people that are bubbling up as the best fit, you can use this stack rank. I just want to show you what this industry looks like. We're working on this taxonomy right now, but already we have about 20% of the database has a tag for what industry they work in. We can get it for the rest, but it wasn't natural. We're adding those industries in now. So I should be able to get it so you can look for candidates in healthcare, in fintech, in high tech, or in construction that would be a good match for you. And this is what I've been saying along the way is the system is so innovative in ways to think about new kinds of candidates. So, what I'm I think I've pretty much shown everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's so deep. Like, there's definitely a lot of functionality.
Yeah. So this is what I call human in the middle. Put John Cassidy in the center.
Yep. One sec.
Just to hit that star right there, and
Yeah.
John goes in the center. Like, this is how cool this is. Just so you as scouts, just come play the game. Like, what other jobs would John Cassidy be qualified for? Right. And so it's doing that. And now I can also go up where it says jobs and I can go to players and I can go find other people like John. And so this is great for John because he could go find other people to kayak with. He could go find mentors. And this is an exciting way so we can do people to companies, companies to people, and we can do people to people. And so, and now I'm going to do a bumper sticker. Scouts are players too. So all of you are also players. When you come join our system, this is sort of like LinkedIn. You do your profile as part of your process to join the community. So you'll be able to play and do these same things. So, do
you want me to just say real quick?
Yeah, do this. Yeah.
Just really quick. I know we're almost out of time already. It goes by so fast. This is the start of the Scout side of the BoomBand experience. So you can see here that I'm logged in as Zeus Health, and for Zeus, these are like placeholders in the dash, but they can go in. They can start to update their company dossier. So again, we've pulled together some starter information about the company. Our development partners are helping us shape this, right? Like, what do you want here? How do you want this to work? They can see the list of jobs that we've collected so far associated with their organization. They can help us manage that, right? Like how's this looking? Do you want these? Do you want to enhance some of them so that you have a stronger signal, a more interesting signal in the arena that you can use?
Let's pause there for 1 second.
Yeah.
One of the things, job postings have the same problem as resumes. Resume means summary. AI wants more to more embeddings than just the summary. Same thing with job postings. Job postings is not French, but it's still a summary. So what we want is the job requirements. We want the hiring manager intake form. We want 2 old job postings. We want 3 people to do the job that you're really excited about. And all you do is drag and drop all that stuff into the enhanced signal. and then our system rewrites it, and then you have full control and you can edit it.
Yep. Okay, and then for their players, they can see who we currently have associated to their company now. They can help us correct it, right? Like there's a drop down here that says currently works here, used to work here, never worked here, so that we can understand if we've got it right, if we're aligning correctly. And then they can quickly see their own people. We've been asked if they can look at their own people in the arena to see how maybe an internal candidate might match to a new job signal. Different use cases like that. We can also go from here to their media library where they're putting all their assets in to create their communication, either for their job signals or for their company dossier. And then we can also look at some insights that we've assembled. And this is just a starter of what we could do for internal companies. So here, of the players we've collected, we can see how their skills are aligning. We can see the companies that they tend to hire from because we can see that work history in the snapshot. We can see education. Then if you switch to alumni, you can see who they tend to lose players to. Oops, that does not look perfect, but that's okay. So right away, we're giving them insights and tools to use across the BoomBand system.
So this page is $75,000 or $80,000 on LinkedIn if you want to have a careers page. For us, this is going to be part of your subscription, which will probably be like around $300 per seat a month. The first seat you have, you can have a career site that actually sits in the middle of this. Every scout gets their own project area, and you have the ability to manage your jobs. And as soon as you enhance that signal and you're happy with it, you launch it into the arena. We immediately make matches. You can either then purchase a package of pings where you can ping individual people, remembering sort of like other systems, most of these people are going to be working, right? Or you can do what we do, which is you can do a slate. And you'll ask us to do it, and then we'll take your signal, like you do that super signal, and you say, I love these people. And so then we'll email 50, 100, 150, however many it takes to get to 10 that are expressing interest in your role. We fill that slate, and then that slate will be what you go through. And I have tons of questions about what you do with this slate, and you'll have tons of questions about how are we going to get this into our ATS system. And I'm going to say, I don't really want to do that, but we're going to have to figure out how to log people in. You haven't actually done any official recruiting yet. You have expressed interest from players. You have put a signal out in the marketplace to see what's out there. And now you have this collection. What do you want to do with it? So it's much different than pulling these people into your ATS, scoring these people, blocking some people out. This is completely transparent. All the companies can see, all the players can see. Everyone has the ability to edit their information. It's a completely open system. All right, let me pause. I don't know, Jeff, would you do a poll and say, okay, is this crazy or is this?
Well, Jeff could do that. Jeff could do that poll, but I'll tell you, by watching the chat room getting absolutely lit up, you've got so many questions in here that we're gonna have to unpack them afterwards. I think you got your answer, and they're all like really great questions. AI, a lot of AI questions, right? I mean, auditing.
Yeah.
You know,
So we don't, just to be clear, we don't do any AI scoring. We're doing like matching as a service. All of the embeddings of your job are going against all the embeddings of every person. And the beauty you have is if you come in and claim and build your dossier, you have the ability to add more embeddings to your side and to enhance this signal. And that's the only AI that we're doing in that way. There's no scoring. There's no blocking people out. And what we're at equal opportunity, right? So our whole thing is players come in and they can go search for jobs that match them. And they're like, oh my God, I never knew that Lego was in Boston. That job's perfect for me. Seekers never had a way to go find companies. And now for players, scouts, together, they have the ability to use our system to communicate with one another, and we'll keep making that more exciting.
I have a couple of questions about revenue models, Jeff. Like, do Do the players pay? Do the players?
Players are, in fact, we're going to pay the players. We're setting up now to give points. If they don't match the jobs, they'll be able to use some points, which will mean that there'll be a special section in your scout area for a player that's used a lot of their points to put themselves into your area. So there's like natural, really good friction. And so other than that, we have a lot of career coaches that want to talk to the people that never realized where they ended up was where they wanted to be. And so there could be some add-on thing at some point, but for right now, players use it for free. Our fees are going to be quite small for using the arena, but we want to make sure people respect it. It's probably going to be somewhere around $200 to $400 a seat per month. And then that gives you full access to the entire data. And then you go and start playing. And then you buy pings in packets, and the pings are relatively inexpensive. And then the slates are going to be more expensive because that's going to be set up for people that have not only a good match, but express interest. And I'm really working on the pricing right now, but it might be between $250 for a slot in that slate to around $800 to $1,000 for a slot in that slate. So if you're looking for a difficult to fill position, we might not be able to fill 10 people in the slot, right? Those are going to be more expensive. So let's say in a range between $250 and $1,000 per slot in that slate. So you could have a $6,000 or $8,000 campaign. And then what we've said is some people are like, that's too much money. And it's like, okay, great. Let's talk about it. Like, what makes it work for you? Because our main thing right now is we want to exercise. There's a brand new way to do this, right? Every part of it's brand new, or I think it is anyway. So I'm kind of curious if you like it. That's my poll question survey. Do you like it? I know everyone has like, oh yeah, but if I let you in here right now, are you coming? My hope is that if you're in New England, come and work with us and shape what this new thing is going to be. And if you're outside of New England, we're coming fast.
Hey, real quick, someone asked about the name, Jeff. Just give the BoomBand. Yeah, you got to answer.
So the first thing is, I think our industry is sad, and I don't mean anything bad by that. And so I wanted to put a little joy in it. Dr. Seuss has a book called "Oh, the Places You'll Go," and at the end of this book, it says, "Don't go to the waiting place. Go where the boom bands are playing." And I always, at this part in this book, I was always like, "Yes, I'm going to that place." And boom, in the top 10 languages, it's just spelled BOOM. It's an energized, explosive moment, sort of like Monster in that way, where people say to me, BoomBand, what's that? It's like, yes, I have the ability to put a definition into something that doesn't have one, sort of a rare name from that standpoint, and it's meant to be fun.
Awesome. Sumser was on, and he's got all kinds of questions. We can unpack them later. But is search going to be easy for the recruiter or the scout, I guess, in this place?
Yeah, we think it's all right there in front of you. I think it's a half an hour tutorial, and then start playing the game, and you start saying like, holy cow, every time I do anything, I see new applicants. Most systems like that, people will stay in all day long and figure out how to use it. Just about all the companies we've shown this to have said yes. It has like an 85% close rate. Everybody wants to get out of their Excel spreadsheet, get out of their ATS, and play with
My
this.
question is more towards the future. I think like I got really excited looking at this, and it looks visually so perfect. Something that maybe even I was looking for when I was job hunting. I'm still job hunting, so next week would be really pretty perfect for me. So I wanted to understand how we are going to get people to move from the traditional LinkedIn boards job like Indeed, Glassdoor,
Yeah.
and to come towards this. Like that will be, I think, will be a great challenge to counter.
Yeah. So there's a book called The Cold Start Problem, which is an amazing book. And it says you have to decide which is the hard side of your market. And I think the hard side of our market is going to be the job seeker side. We call them players. And so we have about 10 different strategies that we're going to use. But the most interesting one is your work, because you put a job in the arena and you want to talk to 50 or 100 people, then our work together is going to reach out to those 50, 100, 150 people. And so one of the things we've said is that this system, actually using the signal as the invitation, is so beautiful, right? And then they register as part of that process, and then they'll start to build out their dossiers. And so I think we get this correction of anything that's not quite right from their discovery snapshot. You get the ability to communicate directly with that person, and they become a BoomBand member in that process, right? So it's sort of a win-win-win scenario. The reason why I have billboards in Boston right now is so that people say, what's BoomBand? And, you know, if you need something like 7 brand touches before it even registers, I'm getting a couple brand touches just by having you see this thing that you don't know. And then you hear somebody talking about it and you're like, oh, I just saw a billboard for that, right? And so the combination of our marketing, we're about to change our billboards to I am more than. And so I am more than a banker. I sing in a choir. I am more than an accountant. I'm also a dad of 2. And those billboards are now going to go up around the city. And then we're also doing a lot of event marketing in Boston. And, you know, we're going to start the flywheel is really what it's going to come down to. This will be our work for the next 3-4 years. But we have the whole database is already, as discovery snapshots, is already here, already looking professional. And the idea is that we're saying, come in and adopt. We'll do a revenue share with you. There's so many interesting things associated with it. So
great. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Thank you so much.
The thing I'm interested in is I describe this about mid-year as a trust fall. Like there's so many different things about this. You're scouting, you're doing outbound, you're not doing job postings, you're doing job signals, you're talking to players, like all that to me, like, how do you feel about that? I would love it. Like being shy right now or introverted is like, I just poured my heart out for 40 minutes. Please pour back.
Hey, Jeff, it's Bill. So just real quick, I just think that when you think about what recruiters do today to find talent, you know, like LinkedIn Recruiter and all those tools, I'm not convinced yet that just going into ChatGPT and doing search is going to be any better. Your tool, the way that you have visualized it, to me, was what I think is going to differentiate. So I think what you've turned in terms of the arena and the other square one you did, which I thought was really cool. I'm a visual person, and I think that's going to really appeal to those recruiters that want something different from a sourcing perspective, particularly for hard to fill roles where they are usually sourcing. They're not, because today, you know, when you post a job, you're getting 1,500 applicants, right? And it's untenable. So I do think that the way you set it up in terms of going in the other direction for the scouts and for the recruiters, I think is the differentiator. So that's what is appealing to me, is being able to use that visualization and those tools to do a much more thorough job from a sourcing standpoint.
Yeah. That idea of staring at another resume in an Excel spreadsheet format and trying to like think seriously about how do I evaluate this person. That's what I'm trying to move us away from, right?
Yeah, even if you're looking at LinkedIn, you got a list.
Pick your favorite
with Rank, Match, and Predict. I don't know what's going to happen with Match, Rank, and Predict when you're using Eightfold or all the other tools that are out there. Your tool does it different. It looks like it looks a little bit differently. So I think that's going to be appealing to people.
Yeah.
I have so many.
Like I had been reading a couple articles, and this question would keep popping up in my mind. Like, what do we do differently? Like, what needs to come into the market differently that just, you know, makes people want to apply, makes people don't get tired of hunting for jobs and just looking at spreadsheets and so many data all the time. So visual representation is definitely one way you look at it, and that's where this stood out. So
yeah. Hey, Brian.
Hello. Yeah, just wanted to ask, is there going to be a way to have like a video, like an introductory video on your dossier as well, personally?
Yes.
Yes. So we have a couple of interesting things. One is there's an invitation to create a 3-minute reel of you, like, driving in a taxi. Tell me about you. And that will be a lead that will be in your about area. We have an idea of being able to do some video about what do you like to do in the weekends, just to like mix things up a little bit. And then we have the idea of doing a common app where we could get through knockout questions very easily in a short video format, where you can say, "Yep, I live in the States. I can legally work here. I haven't been convicted of a felony," and like just that basic stuff that's just so terrible that you have to go and clear. And so we're working on that. Just getting the stories in to start is we think where the magic begins, and we think we'll bring that to life with video. And if you have some suggestions for the right ways to do that, we're all in.
Amazing. The market's getting ready for it. They've wanted it for a while. And I just wanted to mention really quick, don't forget there's different generational groups of people in the market, right? And so what we saw growing up, what others are seeing now, right? There's a whole mix of generations, right? And there's a big difference between a company brand and a personal brand, right? But I believe strongly that, as you mentioned, a lot of these attributes, what you've done, what you do, can certainly add to who you are. And I think that's an important part of the formula. So
yeah. I think one of the biggest challenges on LinkedIn is when you have 19 experiences, right? And I have a lot too, right? And I think what this dossier does is it starts to split you into your different aspects of your story. And my hope is that what have you done for me lately is such a core. You think about it, you go into the work area, your current work's at the top. You go into the life work area, it's all of your hobbies and passions. You go into the about area, it's your important moments that you're describing, why they were important moments in your life. I think this is going to be a celebration for every generation has troubles right now. Gen Z is worried about getting a job at all because they don't have any experience. I think the dossier really helps them to describe their college sports and the fact that they are in this club or that club. And I think it's going to allow them to light that up. I think for boomers, it's not about just how many things you have on your resume. It's about how much you've learned. And I think that it's really going to shine a light on, Xers and boomers that have great experience. So.
Great stuff. Jeff, thank you so much for being so generous with your time. Thank you again for taking us on the journey, man, to have been here at the beginning. And not just the long time beginning, that's special in itself, but last year when you swooped into this place when we had like a dozen people in here and you started thinking this through right in front of you, you're still kind of thinking this through right in front of us. I can speak for everyone that was on this call today. We are so appreciative for the look behind the curtain. And I think it's throwing people a little bit, to be honest with you, because they're not used to this. They're used to black box SaaS software, feature benefit, sales reps coming at them. And here's the CEO and founder of the company. Open the kimono. Here's what it looks like. What do you guys think? That's not happened in a while.
Yeah.
To people. Yeah. So I really appreciate it. And I know we all do. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, and I think if I flip it around, I said it at the beginning, but I'm just one of you guys. All right. And I'm out there hacking away, and I just happen to have a passion for this, and I like to build. And so I'm trying to build the tool that I want to use. Right. I tried to build the dossier that I wanted to be in, and it's been fun. It's been so fun to do.